colonization is that of one country stealing another place in order to become the new rulers of new country and to live in the new country. Another consequence of industrialization in the 19th century was colonialism. Industrial countries needed cheap raw materials and markets for their finished products. By the end of the 19th century, the European industrial powers were competing for the control of new overseas territories. Let's analyze this.
As the 19th century progressed, industrial countries were immersed in a new period of colonial expansion. In Europe, the main industrial players were Great Britain, France, and then Belgium and Holland.
Britain was in a privileged position, and despite losing the American colonies, its empire extended from west to east. With the appropriation of India, Britain became the most powerful country in the world.
After 1870, Germany, the United States, and also Japan were beginning to compete industrially with Britain. France also wanted to regain lost power, and Portugal, Belgium, and Italy were all becoming interested in colonial possibilities in Africa.
Many African countries had the raw materials that Europeans wanted: diamonds, rubber, ivory, gold, copper, cloves and spices, etc. Others were in a strategic localization.
Colonialism was caused because of different causes. For example, the further demographic growth, the revolution in maritime transport, the industrial development, the developed countries' complete for dominance, the emigration to USA, South America or Australia, the search of new markets to sell products and invest capital, the search for cheap raw materials, the development of new and more sophisticated weapons, arsenals and navies, and the new colonial expansionist policies.
Colonialism also caused different types of consequences. For instance, in demographic consequences, the growth due to medical advances; in social consequences, the destruction of ethic structures; in economic consequences, the single crop agriculture serving the colonial powers' domestic needs; the no industrialization because the colonies merely provided marketing and meaning; in cultural consequences, the imposition of European languages, religions and customs; and to finish, in political consequences, the artificial borders.
One of the most colonized countries is Brazil. Colonial Brazil comprises the period from 1500 with the arrival of the Portuguese until 1815, when Brazil was elevated to a kingdom in union with Portugal as the Unit Kingdom of Portugal, Brazil, and the Algarves. During the early 300 years of Brazilian colonial history, the economic exploitation of the territory was based first on Brazil wood extraction, which gave the territory its name, sugar production in the 16th, 18th centuries, and finally on gold and diamond mining in the 18th century. Slaves, especially those brought from Africa, provided most of the workforce of the Brazilian export economy after a brief period of Indian slavery to cut Brazil wood.
This created some consequences in Brazil, in which nowadays there are so many inequalities supposedly caused by colonialism.
To investigate this, we interviewed Ana Carolina Lodeiro, who was born and who had lived some years in Brazil, and we asked her some questions about it.
Hi Anna, we are going to start with the interview.
Okay.
So the first question is that what types of effects did colonialism have in Brazil? Economic effects, cultural effects, social effects?
I think that colonialism have all effects in Brazil. I think Brazil, we have the Indians there, and the Portuguese arrived with the slaves, African slaves, and they make a talk cultural with which they meet there. So we have a great problem because it was a war and a genocide all the time. So they make disappear all that until today. So if we can think about the Indians that are the original people in Brazil, now they live confined in reserves, and people say that this is great. Oh, we are we are taking care about our originals, but really people are confined in a little place. They have in their life they have all the country for them. So it was a great problem in Brazil, and nowadays we have all the facts of all that, of all this slave culture that they put in all they constructed there in Brazil. They explode, they they assassin, they make all things, and the Catholicism was something very important because it's another way of power there.
Do you think that colonialism has caused the same effects in every country? Or
Yeah, I could not affirm. I just could say to you what I some parts of what I live, some parts what I listen, but I think the structure of the colonialism is the same, because you arrived in a new place that they have their own culture, their own people, and you destroy all that. You destroy the language, you destroy the culture, you destroy the life of these people, and you kill these people. So I think could be the same structure.
okay. And the third question is that what are the main differences between different Brazilians, or are they equal?
No, in Brazil we have a lot of difference between people is among people is incredible, because of the when the European people arrived to colonize Brazil, we have the mix of the mix between among the people, no? So we have the people that are black, that are brown. They are slaves, and people judge them today with this vision. With this vision. So if you are black, if you are brown, you don't have the same opportunities that a white person. And this is like that. You see every day in different situations, in work, in the education, in the respect each other. Until today, that's it's a shame, but it's like that.
Okay. We put that another question, that is that, do you think that if Brazil was never colonized, it will be different to the Brazil of today?
I think so. Because if you destroy something that are growing up, or they have their own culture and always, I think so. Nowadays, Brazil is the reflection, and I think the slavery finished in law, but not in reality. Because the day by day of people in Brazil, you have houses with made room for the people that work in your house until today. We have in the buildings, you have the social elevators for the owners of the house, but you have the services elevator for the other people, and this don't mix. This because I have a level better than you, and this is this is a violence. We have a lot of sexism. They kill the originals of the country.
Okay. Do you think that the economic differences between rich and poor Brazilians could be because of colonialism, and why?
Yes, because the colonialism make or puts the idea that what is important is have things, and not the people, the importance of the people, the value of their work. It's only what you can buy, only what do you have. So people judge each other because of that. So the opportunity is not the same. It's like if I am white people, and I have I don't know, I am well dressed, and I have a good car, they will receive me better than if I am black, if I arrive walking, if I don't have the I don't know, the best I don't know, the best Christian Dior inside, and it's like that. It's like that.
Okay. Another question is, how do you think that Brazilians can face up the effects of colonialism?
I think no.
No?
Okay, Brazil developed, and we have a great society, but we have with all the families in the economy, in all areas of the country, we have a lot of things that came of this genocide between the Portuguese and the Indians and the slavery, and we have always, so they are trying. I think the best thing that we have because of this period was the language, because Portuguese is a beautiful language, and the situation make the Brazilian people fight each day for survive and to have a better life. And this could be the good part of that, and what could make Brazil face up the effects of that. But we have a lot of work, a lot of work.
Okay. Another question that we put is, how did you live the effects of colonialism? You say that.
Yes, I don't live exactly because I have a great situation, and I have a great life in São Paulo, and I born and I live in São Paulo, and it's another kind of it's another kind of life, because it's the big city in Brazil, And I listen a lot of stories with the people that work in my house. I visit a favela the first time with a person who lives, who works in my house, and it was very, very shock for me when I arrived at her house, because the floor is made with, I don't know. It's not like our house. It's like here. It's like it's like a garden. No, the floor is like a garden, but she has better electronical devices than me. A TV better than me, and for me it's really, really shocking. And they have a lot of how can I say, antennas. A lot of nowadays you don't use, but in the past we have a lot of great antennas, special to have the TV, the radio. So she has that in her house, and I am shocked. The other things that I remember for my childhood is that I have it's not a friend, but it's a person who comes with a family from Spain. And they are three, the parents and three brothers. No, 2 sisters and 1 brother. So one of them, someday we are in the swimming pool of the Spain's house, playing, and she was speaking with me, and she said to me, "Oh, you have a feet on the kitchen," and I don't understand that in this moment, and was because I am brown. I am when I have I have a good color, and she is it's very, very white, and her parents don't permit them to have relations with people that are not white people, and they are from here, from a little city from Galicia, for example, and and for me is wow. Please, what do you think? What are you telling me? What?
So finally, we have another question. That is that, do you think that according to where you were born in Brazil, it could affect your living conditions?
Yes, I think yes, because for example, I could stay. I could have a house in my street, and I have my parents. For them, it's important that I studied. I have light. I have water in my house. I have a normal situation to live and to develop myself. No, but in the same in the street, I don't know, behind us, we could have a favela when a person like me could not have light, could not have water inside her house, the house, and if the parents don't speak to this child that it's important to study and grow up with this to develop themselves, they will not do. No, I don't know if you know the film Cidade de Deus in Portuguese. Is about a favela, the life in a favela. And when I saw this film, I understand, because a little child killed an adult or kill each other because a pair of shoes. Because this child, in this situation where they born and where they grow up, they just saw their parents killing. They don't have a normal, what we could say normal life. They just see killing. So for him, kill you is the normal for them. So you are walking and someone asks for your shoes, give your shoes, because they will kill you if you don't do it. And this is an example of that. And I could born in a street, and this person could born in the street behind. So
Okay.
yes, in the same city. It's not a change of community, of province. No, in the same city. Okay.
In conclusion, we can say that colonialism affects different areas. For example, economically, we can confirm that, as in the example of Brazil, that there are different social classes according to the economy of each person. Besides, in the cultural area, we can see that in many countries the traditions are quite similar to other countries' traditions because of the colonialism.
Also, in the social area, as we mentioned before, there are different classes according to the economy. Finally, according to Ana Carolina Lodeiro, in Brazil there is a lot of injustice because of colonialism. And she also mentioned the actual bad situation of Brazil as a consequence of colonialism.